Hello, friends on YouTube. How are you today? I am Maria. This is the Strong Body, Strong Soul show. I am so excited to have this conversation today with my friend Christy Mickelson. She's an amazing author, and we are going to have a conversation right now about social audio. If you are not on social audio yet, you got to join the party. It's so much fun. Christy, hi. How are you today? And where are you joining us from? I am going to turn up your volume right now. There we go.
Hello.
Christy, hi.
Hi. Hello, Maria. I am doing good tonight. How are you?
I am so fantastic. I am so fantastic. And with all this talk about Elon Musk buying Twitter and talking about people are all scared what's going to happen with Twitter Spaces and such. So I thought this was a fantastic opportunity for you and I to have this conversation so that anybody stopping by this particular video, audio only, by the way, right now, if you will notice, please, Christy and I are not going to be on the screen during this entire 20-minute conversation, and that's okay. We are showing you guys how it can work. Social audio only. We are on YouTube, but that's okay. We don't care. It's us. It's still our energy. And in the future, we're going to be doing more live streams like this with additional friends' voices in the mix, having more conversations. So we're going to be talking about a couple of different platforms. If you are familiar with social audio, please do feel free to drop your links in the replies, in the comments on this particular video, if you like, so that we can go and check out what you've been doing out there in the world. So many different choices. Christy, why don't we start telling people, first of all, where are you from? Where are you joining us from, Christy?
Hello. I'm actually from Amarillo, Texas. It's so
Woo-hoo.
wonderful to be talking to you tonight. You're in where? California, Maria?
Yes,
Oh
yes.
my goodness. This is so wonderful to be able to talk to somebody across the world without having to use my cell phone.
Right?
I
Right.
love
Because
it.
all these platforms that we're going to talk about right now are all based on our phones and all sorts of different tricks and hacks. We're not going to get into too much detail, but yeah, we're used to being on the phone with so many people in the mix. Why don't we start with Twitter Spaces? Why don't you tell everybody kind of how many people and what is it? What is social audio in general?
Oh my goodness. Let me tell you, I personally love social audio. Because of social audio, I have met new friends, new business associates, and I've increased my sales 10 plus, 10 times what I used to do just by promoting on the internet. For anybody that didn't know, I'm a romance book author, and let me tell you, social audio has been a lifesaver, especially when it comes to Twitter Spaces. Twitter Spaces is a app on Twitter where you get to go in. It's like a big gigantic Zoom call. You have your host and you can have up to two co-hosts and at least 12 speakers or more, but you start out with 12 and you all get to talk about everything that's a part of your topic. So if I wanted to go on and talk about my books, I could talk about my books and then I can invite some other people to talk about their books. It's just like a gigantic Zoom call. I don't know how else to explain it, but it's absolutely wonderful. And if you've ever been on Twitter, I 100% totally am telling you, get onto Twitter Spaces, meet new people, meet new fans, and increase your sales. Maria.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. I love that you said the sales part of it because I've been talking to a lot of people on Twitter Spaces about raising awareness for mental health issues. So I think
Yes.
it runs such a broad range of topics that it can help people with. And let's go ahead and switch over to another platform, actually, because I was on Clubhouse for a long time. I just got on Twitter Spaces in the last 6 months, a year maybe, because I was on Clubhouse. And if you don't know what Clubhouse is, it is a similar type of platform. Well, I shouldn't say that. Twitter is gigantic. And as you know, Elon Musk just bought it and it's going to be changing and such. It has millions of users on Twitter. But the Clubhouse app started during the pandemic, at the beginning of the pandemic. They realized how important audio is to human connection. And that is why I am out here. I think that there's such power in audio. You can feel somebody's personality, you can sense their energy. If you are in a bad mood, somebody can definitely lift you up and bring a smile to your face through audio. And that's what it's about for me. When I first got on Clubhouse, I started going to rooms. They're called rooms on Clubhouse. They're called spaces in Twitter. Each platform has a different kind of lingo, but Clubhouse got a little bit too big for me. And the rooms were sometimes 1,000 people would be in a room. And if you really want to contribute to the conversation, it's difficult to do that sometimes in Clubhouse. So I started testing out Twitter and I fell in love with Twitter Spaces. There are just so many people to meet out there in the world. I do like both platforms, and new platforms are popping up all of the time. Christy, why don't you mention the other platform, Wisdom, that we have been testing out a little bit too, that's getting a large following. By the way, before we go there, Clubhouse, many people can be up on the stage. They call it a stage when you have the mic in your hand and you can share your stories, you can share tools, you can share insights on how to make more money, all sorts of topics, just like on Twitter Spaces. But it is a large group of people that have the ability to speak at the same time, although everybody's pretty polite, right, Christy, about taking turns?
Pretty pretty much so. There on occasion you got a couple people that aren't so polite about it, but for the most part, everybody's absolutely wonderful with it.
Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
Eh,
Now, wisdom's completely different. Tell everybody how wisdom works.
Oh my goodness. So I'm just getting started with Wisdom. I've been on Wisdom maybe 6 months or so. And what Wisdom is, it's a social audio app that has a little more one on one feel to it. So instead of having a room full of people, it's you and a guest. And you get to sit there and talk back and forth, just like what we're doing right now. And on Wisdom, I love to not just promote my books, but I am an advocate for cancer awareness, lupus awareness, and autism awareness. So I do a lot of talking on Wisdom about those subjects because they're very personal to me. My father
Yeah.
died in 2011 from cancer. Both of my kids have autism, and I have lupus. So to me, those are really important subjects that I like to get more awareness to the world for. So wisdom is a wonderful place for that. But besides that, it's also a really great place to connect. If you're an author, to connect with your fans. It's a more one
Yes.
on one personal experience. If you haven't tried Wisdom, I guarantee you should go on there and you'll meet new people and form wonderful communities. In fact, Maria, didn't you and I? No, we met on a Twitter space, didn't we?
We've done Twitter Spaces together and we've done Clubhouse rooms together. I don't, yeah, we haven't been on Wisdom yet. But the thing about Wisdom that I like also, it is really nourishing for one-on-one conversations, like Christy just said. I have been using Wisdom to actually interview people for my podcast. So Wisdom, it's interesting because when you host a talk, it's called on Wisdom, you invite just one person to come up to the mic. You can set a timer for how long that person is able to have that mic. So if I'm interviewing somebody, I might set it at 30 minutes. I might set it for an hour if Tony Robbins is joining me. I might set it for 5 minutes if I am going to have a type of talk where I want people to come on up to the mic that I do not know. And I might want to just have the title of the talk be, "What are you grateful for today?" Or, "What is the name of your podcast?" And I might allow people in the wisdom audience, the users of wisdom, to come up and promote themselves a little bit and share a little bit on my talk. I love elevating other people. That is my favorite thing to do.
That is so awesome, Maria. You don't find too many people that are willing to do that. That is so wonderful of you to do. I just want to commend you for that.
Well, that's the whole reason I started my podcast, was to get insights out to people, to students. I'm a meditation teacher and a podcaster and a personal trainer. So a lot of the ways I teach, I wanted my students to be able to catch the audio later, even after, if they missed a workshop that I was doing. I wanted them to get the benefits, not only of stuff that I was teaching, but what my students were teaching me, because my students teach me all of the time. And I just absolutely love it. The purpose of Wisdom was initially to be a teaching kind of platform. When you have a specialty that you want to share with people, you go on there and you teach people, and people can listen, people can take notes. They can join the conversation. The great thing about Wisdom, by the way, is that you can share those talks out on other social media platforms, and the people do not need to join the app in order to listen. That's very unusual. On most platforms, when you see the link for Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, whatever it may be, you need an account on that platform in order to listen. On Wisdom, it's different. So it's very, very cool, very cool. And I like being able to guard that one-on-one conversation. Christy, have you done many Wisdom talks? And how do people find the talks that you've done on Wisdom? Tell them about how easy that is.
Well, I've done, oh my goodness. I co host for Ruth Snyder for her show, Parenting Children with Exceptional Needs. So I've done quite a few co hosting chats, and I've done a few of my own personal chats. In order for people to find you, you pretty much have to share the chat unless you're actually on the app at that moment. It's a wonderful app, everything, but it's kind of hard to find other followers. But I think they're changing that right now. I know Graciela Moore. She's the person that onboarded me, and she's absolutely wonderful at it. If you're out in the audience, Graciela, you might want to drop some information in the comments for other people on how they can share uh, the chats. All I know is you personally click a button and you can share it to your Twitter or your Facebook or
Yes.
yeah, other platforms. Now,
Yes.
Maria, I'm sorry to change the subject, but
Yeah.
the one that I cannot quite get a grasp on is LinkedIn. Help me out here. Tell me about LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Give me the
Link.
strategy.
Well, first of all, let me start off by saying that LinkedIn, as everybody knows, is much more of a business minded platform, right? So I think sometimes even the term social audio is kind of getting a bad rap, because it's not just about being social with other people. It actually is about building your businesses and networking and building those connections. I think it's particularly awesome for women, in fact, because women are able to use their voices out here and really keep up and surpass a lot of their male counterparts. Sorry, guys. Because sometimes I think when you're in person with people, they sometimes can look at a woman, and if she's too attractive, they do not take her seriously. So I think it's kind of nice to use this audio where you can't see us, Christy and I right here. The same thing with any of this social audio. So on the LinkedIn platform, there are so many fantastic people there. But I've always been told, don't get too woo woo with my meditation stuff over there, or don't go, you don't want to be too fluffy over there. But I think the world is changing. I think, especially with the pandemic, people are opening up. We all know you sell better. You have better relationships with your coworkers if you are more calm, if you do not have a heart attack. It might help you in business. So meditation, all sorts of different stuff is very helpful. But LinkedIn has jumped on the bandwagon in the last year, and they are attempting to get into the social audio space as well. I don't know if it's going to work for them. Right now, you can do what they are called they're called audio events on LinkedIn. and you can schedule them in advance. You can invite people. You have access to information of the people that stop by your talks there. The downside to it is that you are not able to record LinkedIn audio. So the other platforms that Christy and I are talking about, you guys, are Twitter Spaces, Clubhouse Rooms, and Wisdom Talks. All three of those platforms, you are able to record the space. So let me also say, when you are a guest in someone's social audio, you need to know going in. If you are really sensitive and you do not want your voice recorded, then do not speak. Do not take that mic. But if you don't mind, if you are out here specifically to use your voice to help other people, raise awareness, share your story, talk about places people can call for help if they need to, then absolutely share, share, share. You never know where your voice is going to go. And that is the point. We want to share each other's energy and good stuff. So LinkedIn, as far as a social audio platform, you can't record on it. So I have not found good use for LinkedIn yet. I think a lot of people on LinkedIn are shying away from audio anyway because of that social stigma that might be attached to the very term social audio. So they might not be into it as much on the LinkedIn platform, but that doesn't stop me from sharing my wisdom talks over to LinkedIn or Clubhouse talks over to LinkedIn. It was so fun. Christy, the other day I was in a Twitter space. One person made it to the space because they saw my link that I posted on Facebook. Another person made it to the space because they saw a link that I shared on LinkedIn. So it is working. It's so inspiring. It's so encouraging to know that hopping around these social media platforms is working. Christy, which ones are you on? Are you on pretty much everything? Do you have TikTok yet?
Oh my goodness, girl. I have almost every social media platform because as an author, you want to have your name and face and video and everything that you possibly can. You want it out there. So I am on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Wisdom, Clubhouse. I am here on YouTube. I'm just now building my YouTube channel. Yes, I've been at this since 2018 and I'm finally hopping on the bandwagon and I'm going to build a YouTube channel.
I
So
love it.
look me up on YouTube, everybody. I'm going to be posting some podcasts and some videos about how I became an author and so much more. And yes, I might even get down and dirty with you guys and talk about things that most people shy away from. So if I were you, jump on the bandwagon. Look me up on YouTube. My name is Christy Mickelson and subscribe. I guarantee once it's built, you guys will have fun.
That's
Maria,
great. What's the
where
name of the YouTube channel?
so far, oh my goodness, I haven't even got a name for it yet.
Okay, we'll work
How,
on it. You're
yeah,
starting a podcast too. Are you going to have the names match? You might want to.
yes, the podcast is going to be WWAA, so WWAA podcast with Christy Mickelson and co-host Axel Savage. Maria,
Awesome.
where are you at? I know you're on several platforms too. Tell us where we can find you.
I am on pretty much most podcasting platforms. The show is Strong Body, Strong Soul. So the YouTube channel matches it. I started on YouTube first, and then I realized that audio was a little easier since I don't have to worry about lighting and what I am wearing. You never know what I'm wearing, if anything.
Oh, see, now we're going to have a talk, girl. Let me tell you.
So
I have a subject in mind where you might be perfect. I don't know if I should bring it up right now, but hey, I've got a subject in mind. We're going to have to talk.
well, you know what? I'm going to drop a link into the comments here for everybody of our Clubhouse talk where we were talking about passion for writing. And we were talking about your books. And you guys, it was so much fun because Christy sent me a few scenes from her books and I was able to read them into our room on Clubhouse. I had to edit them a little bit, but that was okay. And the imagination, I mean, I think we all need to lift each other. That is, like I said, that is why I'm out here. And it doesn't matter what kind of content we are sharing. I really gravitate to people that are really passionate about what they're talking about. And sometimes people that are thinking about having podcasts will ask me, well, what should my podcast be about? Don't worry about what everyone else wants. Worry about what matters to you. And that's what you should talk about. And that's why I'm so excited to have people like Christy on this show here on YouTube or wherever it may be. I may repurpose the audio here. You may be listening right now through Spotify or Google Play podcasts or Apple Podcasts, all those places. It's just so much fun, but it's really rewarding to know that my voice is going out. I don't need to know who is hearing me. I just have to have faith that my voice is getting to the right people. And I'm really excited to lift people like Christy, help you guys find out about her as well. By the way, on Twitter, there's this new thing called Twitter communities. And so I did start a community on Twitter. It's called Maria Speaks. And I was just recently laughing, Christy, because I thought I should change the name to Maria Speaks about the members, because that is what it's about. I'm trying to gather people in that community that I really respect and admire and who inspire me. And so we will get some more of those members from the community over here, Christy, to this particular show over here. It's really fun to go live like this. This basically is a podcast because it's being recorded for the future. Yeah, I'll probably put the audio on the podcast too.
I think that would be wonderful. And just so you know, your community members love the fact that you're bringing them into everything that's important to you too. So thank you for being so wonderful, including all of us. We absolutely love that. And you don't get offended if we do a little self promo too on occasion. We don't
Oh,
want to
yeah,
overpower you or nothing like that, but you allow us to post, a promo here and there, and that is so
absolutely.
wonderful. That is wonderful.
Absolutely. You know what, too? If anybody here is on Twitter, if you feel like it, I've been doing a Twitter space on Tuesdays at 4 o'clock with one of our members. Her name is Sarah, and we've been talking about etiquette. We've been talking about etiquette on social media in general, about when to send DMs, how to behave in a DM group chat, whether you should subscribe to all of your friends' YouTube channels, newsletters, TikTok accounts, all that stuff. I say no. I say I don't want to ask you to subscribe to this channel if you don't really feel drawn to it. I want you instead to go ahead and scroll through, see which videos might resonate with you. Maybe you will like some of the meditations that I have on here. Maybe you will like some of the interviews that I've had with people. It is a good idea to subscribe if you like somebody so that you don't miss out when they do come out with a new video. That is a great reason to subscribe to people. But yeah, we're going to be talking about subscribing to people and not getting offended, all that kind of stuff in that etiquette Twitter space this coming Tuesday. But I don't even know when you're listening, you guys. That's the beauty of this whole thing too, right? It's evergreen. It's Halloween tomorrow, by the way. Today is Sunday, October 30th. And it might be Halloween tomorrow for us right now, but it might be 4th of July when you're listening to this. It doesn't matter. It's evergreen, this conversation. I love it. I love it. Christy, we're going to go ahead and put the links to some of your books too in the comments. They're going to be in the comments, you guys, instead of the show notes. Okay. So scroll on through there. I want to remind you guys to go ahead and feel free to drop your own links into the replies on this particular YouTube video. If you like, we're more than happy to help share you. All right.
Absolutely. I
Any
find that absolutely wonderful. And I just want to say, if it's all right with you, Maria, I just want to tell everybody, if you feel like it, if you feel that you've made some kind of connection with either me or Maria, find us on Twitter. We're always there. We're always glad to talk to people and lift people up. And I am actually holding a Twitter space November 10th at 6:30 p.m. PST time, talking about living with chronic illness. I have lupus, fibromyalgia, and Hashimoto's thyroiditis. So I want to tell everybody what it's like and what you can do and how you can just push through and live life. So if you're on Twitter, look me up. I'm at Twitter at Christy Books.
Amazing. Amazing. Also, please keep in mind, you guys, Twitter spaces, clubhouse rooms, talks, they're all recorded. So again, whenever you happen to be listening to this particular interview here or conversation, you can listen to Christy's space months from now. It'll still be there. So thank you so much for joining us. I am going to go ahead and say goodbye to everybody. Thank you so much, Christy, for joining us today. Love it.
Thank you. I love talking with you, Maria. You have a great night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.